Hey everyone, welcome to my latest Stories on a Song video here on YouTube. Well, I'm a little later than I thought I might be getting this thing up, but a lot of work yesterday getting it ready, so got a little late before I was able to have a chance to get it on, so here I am today. Got home from work a little while ago and now ready to do this song. This song is called Slow Rollin' Low. I'm doing the live version of this song. There's a live version and there's an album version, and I think the live version is a little more energy to it, so I'm going to do the live version here today. This is a song that was done by Waylon Jennings in 1974, written by Billy Joe Shaver. Well, this is my 26th Waylon Jennings song on my YouTube playlist, my karaoke songs, and that's the most songs I've done by any one artist so far. And it's my 265th video on there in total. Slow Rollin' Low is a song that I first discovered more recently than I have most Waylon songs that I know, probably within the last 10 to 12 years or so. It was on one of my too frequent late night, early morning rambles around YouTube when I stumbled upon two videos that blew me away so completely that they have been my two favorite Waylon songs of all time ever since. Neither of them was even close to a hit or ever mentioned when people talk about the best Waylon songs. One of them was called Nashville Women, and the other was the song I have for you today. There is no karaoke version of Slow Rollin' Low out there, but I'm not at all upset about that, except for the fact that I won't be able to sing it at the bar the next time I go there. But I had a choice between using the studio version or a 1974 live version from Don Kirshner's rock concert television program. The studio version was acoustic, while the live version featured the signature sound of Waylon's guitar plugged in, Ralph Mooney's steel guitar taking a more prominent part, and an extra bridge and extra chorus. So given the energy of a live show plus more singing, man, it was an easy decision, easy choice which version I would use to back me up. So I hope you agree with my decision. The live version I have chosen is also on this DVD called Nashville Rebel that I have here. Yep, this is a real good DVD with lots of performance footage in there. Slow Rollin' Low is on there. The same footage that I'm going to use, or performance I'm going to use to back me up today. Since I couldn't find any information at all in my usual sources related to a lyrical explanation of Slow Rollin' Low, I'll attempt to give my opinion as to its content and meaning. I believe the title refers to a slow-moving freight train. The song's main character is a struggling singer riding the rails, and he's down and out with no one to give him a helping hand, and he feels that death is not far away, not far off for him. His mind wanders back to a time when things were not so bad, when he had someone to care for him, but he has lost that connection, and now he wallows in self-pity. The song has some similarities in theme and content to another Billy Joe Shaver song that Jennings had included on his previous album of new material, the song Ride Me Down Easy, which Bobby Bare had a hit with on the same label as Waylon a few months before Waylon's release of his version on his Honky Tonk Heroes album. Opens with the lines, now I'm going to sing a little bit. This old highway, she's hotter than 9 kinds of hell, and rides as scarce as a rain. When you're down to your last buck with nothing to sell, and too far away from the trains. Been a good month of Sundays and a guitar ago, I had a tall drink of yesterday's wine. Left a long string of friends, some sheets in the wind, and some satisfied women behind. Yeah, that's Ride Me Down Easy, the first verse of it. Writer Shaver, a little bit about him, Billy Joe Shaver. He was born on August the 16th, 1939 in Corsicana, Texas. He died on October the 28th, 2020, aged 81, in Waco, Texas, from a stroke. He was a country singer and guitarist who wrote many songs that were full of the language and imagery of the West Texas hill country where he came from. He has written or co-written 56 songs that have been released by more than one artist, including Slow Rollin' Low, from Chicken on the Ground, originally by Shaver himself in July 1970, to Hard to Be an Outlaw, originally by Willie Nelson in 2014. His most widely recorded songs are You Ask Me To, originally by Waylon Jennings on June 25, 1973, and the aforementioned Ride Me Down Easy, originally by Bobby Bare, with vocal accompaniment by the Jordanaires in February 1973. Since there is no specific information regarding Slow Rollin' Low in my usual sources, I will tell a little bit about the background to the recording of the album that the song first appeared on, which was Jennings' March 1974 RCA Victor album, This Time. It was released at the peak of the outlaw country movement and co-produced by Jennings and Willie Nelson. Although Jennings had won artistic autonomy from RCA in 1972, giving him the freedom to produce his own records, he was still irritated by RCA executives who kept a close eye on his recording sessions at RCA Victor Studios and had even delayed the release of his 1973 album, Honky Tonk Heroes. And that is this album right here. This is my favorite Waylon album of all time, Honky Tonk Heroes, 1973. Right on. So, in his autobiography, Jennings wrote that although he had agreed to record in their studios, the RCA engineers were constantly calling upstairs to executive Jerry Bradley, keeping him aware of everything Jennings did. Fed up with the aggravation, Jennings decided to record his next album, this time, at Tom Paul Glaser's Glaser Sound recording studio at 916 19th Avenue South in Nashville, nicknamed Hillbilly Central, with Willie Nelson co-producing. Glaser, a Nashville veteran who had achieved fame with the Glaser Brothers, had co-produced Honky Tonk Heroes, a touchstone of the outlaw country movement. In his book Outlaw, Waylon, Willie, Chris, and the Renegades of Nashville, author Michael Strysguth describes the atmosphere of the studio, which contrasted sharply with RCA's strict recording traditions. Quote, "Its doors propped open to let in the young breezes sweeping through the West End, the so-called Hillbilly Central offices became an outlaw safe haven. Former employees recalled Willie Nelson lazing on the front lawn and Waylon haunting the offices at 3 in the morning. The studio hosted a fraternity of singers, songwriters, and Nashville dropouts living the verse of a strumming and bumming honky-tonk song. Sessions burned into the small hours until Tom Paul and his entourage peeled out into the streets in search of pinball machines, drinks, and greasy food." According to Strysguth, the first song Jennings recorded at Glaser's studio in October 1973 was J.J. Cale's Louisiana Women, with Kyle Lanning engineering. Lanning, who would later achieve fame in the 1980s producing albums for Randy Travis, contributed Wurlitzer electric piano to the Cale song and the trumpet part to Heaven and Hell. "You just can't, well, quote, you just can't believe how different everything sounded when he moved from RCA," unquote, Glaser explained in the 2003 documentary Beyond Nashville. Quote, "The bottom was fat and big again. You could hear the drum. It wasn't a little tick in the back. It was marvelous." Jennings agreed, stating, "There was a freedom there that I didn't have anyplace else. Both of us could experiment. It was a fraternity and Nashville was our college town." Unquote. Playing up to his outlaw persona, Jennings recorded the aptly titled Slow Movin' Outlaw and also included Texan songwriter Billy Joe Shaver's Slow Rollin' Low. He made the original recording of Slow Rollin' Low on October the 17th, 1973. It was never released as a single. The only single from the album was the title track, which became his first career #1 country hit, 8 years after his first album and 15 years after his first single release. Slow Rollin' Low was track 4 on the album, which was released on March 26, 1974, according to secondhandsongs.com and lpdiscography.com, or in July 1974, according to Wikipedia. The album peaked at #4 on the Billboard Country Albums chart, his best showing there since 1967. On the year-end charts for 1974, it ranked #16 on Billboard US Top Country Albums. Personnel on the album included Duke Goff on bass, Richie Albright on drums, Don Brooks on harmonica, Ralph Mooney on steel guitar and dobro, all of whom appear on the live Don Kirshner performance, Reggie Young, Waylon, Willie Nelson, and Fred Newell on lead guitar, Jesse Coulter, Dee Moeller, and Kyle Lanning on piano and organ, Lanning on trumpet, Jennings, Larry Whitmore, and Newell on rhythm guitar, and Herb Burnett art direction. Only 2 cover versions of Slow Rollin' Low have been released to date, both in English. They are by the song's writer Billy Joe Shaver on November 7th, 1977, on his Capricorn Records album Gypsy Boy, and by American country music singer Billy D. Hunter on September 10th, 2007, on his Rocade Records album Inside Out. And a little bit about Waylon Jennings himself. A little bio. Waylon Jennings was born Waylon Arnold Jennings on June the 15th, 1937 on the J.W. Bittner Farm near Littlefield, Texas, about 37 miles northwest of Lubbock, the nearest big city. His mother changed his name to Waylon after finding out that there was a Baptist college named Wayland in Plainview, Texas. The family belonged to the Church of Christ. Jennings was also known as Hoss by Hank Williams Jr. in their duet The Conversation, Chief by the members of his backing band, the Wailers, who also appear on this video that I'm going to use today. Watasha, given to him by Hank Jr. This name is Japanese for Old Number One. Hank Jr. was telling Waylon in this way that it was okay with him if he sang Hank Sr.'s songs. And Waymore, because he was an over-the-top guy who never did anything half-assed. Jennings performed in the country, outlaw country, and progressive country genres. He was also an actor, the most memorable for me being his balladeer role in my favorite TV show as a kid, The Dukes of Hazzard. He was famous for playing a black and white leather-covered Fender Telecaster guitar. He was active in the music business from 1949, when at age 12 he played his first public concert at a youth center, to 2000, when he was forced to stop touring because pain from diabetes reduced his mobility. He recorded for A&M Records, MCA, and Epic, in addition to RCA Victor. He was formerly a member of the Crickets, Buddy Holly's backing band, in which he played bass on the Winter Dance Party Tour in 1959, the one where Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and Richie Valens passed away in the plane crash. The Wailers, he was a member of the Wailers, obviously, as a band leader. That was his band name. The Highwaymen, a country supergroup with Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson. USA for Africa, a supergroup that performed the charity single We Are the World in 1985. The Maverick Choir, on the soundtrack for the 1994 film starring Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner, in which he also acted his final film role. And Old Dogs, a country supergroup with Mel Tillis, Bobby Bare, and Jerry Reed. Jennings was married 4 times, first to Maxine Lawrence in 1955. They were divorced in 1962. Second to Lynn Jones in 1962, and they were divorced in 1967. Third to Barbara Elizabeth Roode in 1967, and they were divorced in 1968. And fourth to country singer Jessie Coulter in 1969. And they stayed married until Waylon's death. He had 6 children, including Shooter, his son who was a musician and record producer. Waylon had 3 brothers, all younger than him. Tommy, his oldest brother, played bass in the Wailers in the mid to late 1960s. As of 2009, his middle brother James and James's wife of more than 40 years, Helen, operate Waymore's Liquor Store in Littlefield, a converted gas station where a lube and oil change bay has been converted into a drive-thru for people too busy to go inside and fetch their beer. His youngest brother, Bo, 16 years younger than Waylon, died in 2018, aged 64. He died at the same age as Waylon, actually. He died, yeah, that's the next thing I wrote on the sheet. 333 solo records, plus 111 records with other artists, for a total of 444 were released on Jennings between 1959 and 2014. His discography includes 45 studio albums, 5 live albums, 28 compilation albums, 16 collaborations, 16 music videos, 98 singles, and 11 charted B-sides. 16 of his singles went to number 1 in the US, and 32, including all countries, reached the top if you include all other countries of the world. Jennings died on February the 13th, 2002, aged 64 in Chandler, Arizona. And he is the one artist that I wish I would have seen in concert that I never did see in my lifetime live, but well, I was pretty lucky to see a lot of them that are no longer around, so I gotta count that as a blessing for sure. Alright, well, now I'm gonna sing this big song called Slow Rollin' Low. Alright, here we go. need my lyric sheet for this because there's no karaoke version to help me out. So I'm going to get this sheet and I'm going to have some fun with this song today, boys. Ooh, yeah. Here we go. This is the one I want. Alright, let's do this. Ooh, boy. Slow Rollin' Low by Waylon Jennings. The live version, written by Billy Joe Shaver. I've got a slow rollin' low. Ain't a mother would want me. It done got me settled down. So I've been out around, don't know my head from my toes. There ain't a hand here to hold. Ain't a shoulder to cry on. Ain't a lesson to learn. A corner to turn twixt the dying and me. Lord, I want it to be something you could depend on. Lordy, Lord, woe is me. There ain't a body would care. Got a slow rollin' low. Forgot the words to my song. Now ain't that just like a fool wanna ride on them trains when the trains is all gone? Yeah, okay. Ralph Mooney on the steel guitar. Don Brooks, harmonica. Take it, Waylon. Here we go. What I wanted to be something you could depend on. Lordy, Lord, woe is me. There ain't a body would care. Got a slow rollin' low. Forgot the words to my song. Now ain't that just like a fool wanna ride on them trains when the trains is all gone? One more time. Ralph Mooney. Don Brooks again. Woo. Yeah, old Waylon. Here we go. Take that guitar song. Yeah. And the crowd goes wild, yeah. Woohoo! Slow Rollin' Low. Waylon Jennings from 1974. The live version, which I always figure is better than any old recorded version on an album anywhere, for sure. Alright. Well, I guess you could tell I enjoyed that song quite a bit. I sure did. And I have to say that it's too bad that I won't be coming back on doing another video for a whole 5 days or so now, or something like that, because it's not until Sunday that I'll be back on to do another one, and at that point, I'll be doing another George Jones song. If you all enjoyed that last George Jones song I did, I got another one here that I learned years ago off of his own TV show called The King Is Gone, and So Are You. So we're going to try that one out next time on Sunday. Well, y'all hope you have a good week, and we'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye now.